Good morning, everyone. I just see this sign up here. Please silence your phone. Good idea during meditation. My name is Karen Gidley, and I'm a licensed practitioner here. And it's my honor today to do the meditation part of this service. So we'll go into meditation here shortly for about 15 minutes. And the subject for, I believe it's this month, isn't it? Is the mundane, profane, and what? Sacred. Thank you. I knew there was 3 parts to it. Yeah, but I think we're focusing today on the mundane. So, yeah, I'm looking up the description of the mundane, and it is pretty much talking about being ordinary and of this world. So we know that everything is all good, it's all God, but we are going to go into maybe expressing a little bit more joy, gratitude, and love. And that's what I'm going to bring this meditation for. So if you all just take a nice moment to settle into your spot and into your seat, and find yourself a comfortable position, closing your eyes, taking a nice deep breath in and holding it at the top, and then releasing, bringing about that breath of life. Taking another deep breath in, holding it at the top, and then releasing. One way to really bring the relaxation and calmness to our center, to ourselves, is by breath. Always bringing your present moment to the breath and focusing on that center in the heart space, knowing that that is the space where you are pure, you are the soul, and the spirit comes through you of God. All right, so now we'll go into a short meditation on gratitude. And just knowing that gratitude is a feeling of thankfulness. And gladness is a more general sense of feeling pleased, rewarded, delighted, or happy about something without it necessarily being a gift. That's the difference between gladness and gratitude. And gratitude, gladness, and their related feelings, like appreciation, may seem so homey and Hallmark cardish that they're easy to dismiss. But studies, in fact, have found that cultivating them has lasting and important benefits, including lifting your mood and increasing satisfaction with life. So as you go about your day today, be particularly attentive to any feelings of gratitude or gladness that are naturally arising. Also create experience of gratitude or gladness by looking for the things to feel grateful for or glad about, that they can be seemingly simple and small. Also finding things to feel gratitude and feel grateful and glad about the lives of others. It all starts within ourselves. Be open also to any feelings of joy, feelings of ease and fulfillment, and embody the sense of gratitude and gladness by smiling or bouncing up and down in delight, and softening your face and reaching your arms out to the world. And you can let gratitude and gladness sink in deeper. And as you give your mind to gratitude and gladness, let yourself feel content that there's already plenty for you in this moment, and that you don't need to chase after it or hold on to it tightly. Just sense the gratitude and the gladness. And imagine that some of the many things you feel grateful for or glad about are showing, they're just showering down and gradually filling those empty spaces inside. And perhaps gratitude and gladness are touching parts of you that felt unhappy. And when you want, you can let go of any negative material and stay with a sense of gratitude and gladness. Take another deep breath and put yourself into a deeper relaxation. And let your mind relax and drift gently until you find yourself standing on a white sand path. This path is smooth and firm beneath your feet. And as you begin to move forward, a lush tropical forest is spread on either side of the path. It is cool and shady, yet light with dappled sunshine. And the white sand path ahead of you is patterned with sparkling sunlight. And on your right, wild hyacinths bloom in warm colors of coral, peach, and fuchsia. You inhale their fragrance, and water drips from the tips of leaves, catching the sunlight as it shines through the forest. And as you continue to walk along the path, you come to a tall tree with a door in its gnarled trunk. And beside the door is a window surrounded by brown bark and shaded by large green leaves. And as you look through the window, you find a new world unfolding before your eyes. Notice the colors, the light, and the forms that you can see. These new visions amaze you, and as you stand gazing joyfully, you are aware of your inner strength and peace. You begin to understand, to feel at home, and to feel safe. And now it's time to enter through the door to your higher self. Go through it feeling happy and harmonious, open to fully experience this beautiful land. Take time to explore, to enjoy, to be one with your higher self. And now we'll take a few moments for silent meditation. Now returning from the door that starts back along the white path sand, you move beyond the fragrant flowers, the path still smooth and firm beneath your feet. And as you walk, you hear the slight rustle of the trees. The lush tropical forest is now a part of you. You feel one with all living things. You become more awake, more energetic, and feel your body again, heavy and relaxed. Breathe deeply, letting the breath revitalize your body. Slowly curl and release your fingers and your toes. And gently stretch and release every muscle in your body, waking each one individually. And take a deep breath and exhale. And when you are ready, open your eyes. All right, thank you for being here in meditation with me. And we will be back together at 10:30 and start the Sunday celebration. Namaste.
Good morning, everybody. What a lively crowd we have today. Woohoo! It reminds me, my dog, I don't know how many of you have animals, but I know my dog has been super frisky on morning walks. Like, he walks me now. I'm walking down the road like this. And that's what you guys remind me of, this energy. It's fall. Can you feel it? I went into my closet this morning, and it was like, okay, fall clothes, my little fall section. I have my wardrobe in colors, and I went to the fall section, and this is my annual fall dress. So I hope you enjoy it. And without further ado, welcome to our Sunday celebration and the Big Love Band to kick it off.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, yes, please stand. We've got a couple things today. Happy November. Did we all get that extra hour of sleep?
Yes.
Go pat Jeremy on the back because he didn't get one today. Nope. I actually forgot about it, so make him feel that you connect with him on that. Also, I'm not sure if you noticed, but we have a guest drummer in the house. Samuel. Thank you, Samuel. And this first song, of course, we were going to celebrate gratitude this entire month. So this song requires participation. So if you have not participating, you are required, and Dawn's going to come around and point at you if you are not singing.
All right, here we go.
So we'll kick it off. You guys are going to sing with Colette and John in the parentheses. So it's kind of a repeat song.
We got your parts all printed out. Come on.
It is Thanksgiving Day indeed. So if you have any questions about announcements, we have an information table, like right when you come in the door by the back, there's a bunch of little tablets on it where you can sign up, and someone there at the end of service to answer your questions. And on Wednesday evenings, we have been having a Raise Your Vibration, and I am going to be postponing that for this holiday season and revisiting that the first of the year, as it seems like everybody is busy with holiday activities, including us around here. We have so much going on, so we'll be postponing that until further notice. And Mindful Moments meditation is back. For those of you who were in the meditation this morning with Karen Gidley, who is a wonderful meditation leader, has her Zoom every Thursday from 6 to 7. There's a reading, meditation, and a short discussion, and you can join in on that. You can go to cslcapecoral.org to register and check out more information on that. And coming up this week is game night, so I'm glad to see so many people back in town. We have a rockin' good time at game night. As Dawn likes to say, we can get a little bit competitive, but we keep it clean and happy and oh so fun. And we have popcorn and chips and sodas and just a lot of laughs. So please come and join us for that. It is from 7 to 9. Ernest Holmes is the founder of our philosophy, and we teach the universal truths found in all spiritual teachings, both contemporary and traditional here. So please visit our website at cslcapecoral.org for more information on upcoming events, to submit prayer requests, and to send us your comments and questions. And thank you so much to Karen Gidley, who is holding our high watch today. And what that means is she's just in a beautiful state of meditation, holding the highest and greatest for this service and all the attendees and actually the world. So she's doing quite a thing over there, so we give her thanks for that. And we are going to have another beautiful song from the Big Love Band. So please give them a great welcome. Yes, optimism is contagious. So you probably noticed I have someone else standing here with me. This is Kat Callahan, and she is warming up to join our host team. And so she's taking a little bite out of this morning to start to warm up to the hosting position. So she's going to lead us in our welcome today. So please welcome Kat Callahan.
Well, this is nice. I don't have to adjust the microphone. You're not up here. Well, I'd like to start with our wonderful blessing. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are thankful you are here. Welcome to the center. Get it?
Next slide, Cassie. Yep. So we are off into another beautiful song with the Big Love Band, Love Cover Me. Give them some welcome.
As time has unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every thought I make, with every breath I take, may I be gracious and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Kindness wash over me. Make me a symphony. Play every note you can find. Make me reverberate, gently deactivate, slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my anthem be. Love, cover me, light
Isn't this the greatest place to hang out? So now is the time for young people wishing to attend our amazing youth program to feel free to get up and go to your classroom now. It looks like you're going to be with Patty today, yay, and Phyllis. All righty then.
We'd like to talk about joining our very own Patty Carney, the teacher of distance Reiki session on Zoom. This session is November 7th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Visit our calendar on cslcapecoral.com to register and a love donation.
Thank you, Kat. Yes, she does that the first Tuesday of every month, and it's an amazing thing. And now we have another amazing thing. We're just full with amazing things here today. And that would be our amazing John Coriel coming up to give us this week's reading and prayer. So please give John a warm welcome.
An amazing thing. Well, don't think I've ever been introduced like that before. I like that. Oh, my. Well, we have as our monthly theme, shall we say, the mundane. It's kind of a three-point area. The mundane, the sacred, and the profane. I thought we might talk about the mundane today. You may have heard this little phrase before, and I had some time ago, and when I read it here, it was like, oh, I forgot about that. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. But wait, I thought enlightenment would change this. No? Oh, okay. It's all the same. You look back and find the sacred in everything. Our thoughts are in the past or in the future, but often not right here where we are. And yet, to know the presence is here right now, not somewhere out there. We can turn in the opposite direction of training and see the beauty, the sacred, in exactly what we are doing now. We can stop wanting something exciting to happen and be fully present with what is. Take a breath and return to the now moment. A good reminder indeed. Always seeing the grass as greener over there, we will keep focused somewhere other than where we are. If we reorient ourselves to view everything we do as a meditation, we can begin to let go of the wandering, worry, monkey mind, and let our attention gently rest right here where we are. This week is kind of a reminder during the day to practice coming to the center and just being with what you are doing right then and there. It may be standing in line in the grocery store, it may be sitting in traffic, or possibly taking out the garbage. That could be too. Any mundane task. Flip your thinking around and say, this is the most important and sacred moment of my day right here and right now. I know the oneness is right here, and I choose to notice it. Practice being here and now. And we'll take these thoughts just to spirit to prayer for a moment, and recognize that God essence is right here where we are and is what we are. We are recognizing that regardless of what we may be involved in or doing or where our mind may be taking us, but knowing that we are spirit and we are centered. And for a moment, too, we'll take this time for turning to that light and holding possibly someone in your life that you'd like to hold in the light, or maybe a situation in your present circumstances that you wish to hold in the light for just a moment or two. And within that light, we recognize that God essence, Spirit, being right there where we are, right here and right now. And all is unfolding in a most wonderful, magnificent way. We just give thanks for that unfolding and the perfect outcome, the perfect moving forward right here and right now. And we just say, thank you, God. Thank you for this good, for this wonderful celebration service. And we just revel in that and say thank you. And as we know that to be so, together we can say, and so it is. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Ah, my. So wonderful to recognize that and just to know that we can be right here where we are and everything will unfold in a most natural way. I am reminded that he has said often he is happy to be here, and we are happy to have him. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Reverend Chris Liev.
Good morning. It's so great to be back and to see all the faces. We have, people returning. It's wonderful that, the snowbird thing was kind of new to me when people all of a sudden disappeared in the spring and, early summer. But now it's like the gift, comes back, and now we get to have people return, and it's wonderful. So it's great to see more faces and other people joining in too. So everybody that's here for the first time, thank you for being here and welcome. Okay. So I got a lot to cover today, so I'm going to jump right in. So we are talking about the mundane, the sacred, the profane, oh my. But in the mundane, but first, you know how we like to roll, get some stuff out of the way. So first off, I want to say thank you to all the CSL/CC volunteers that make the service possible, and you'll see them, all over making magic, starting with, entering in through the front door. But I also want to give a big shout out to all the people that showed up yesterday. We had 9 people that showed up for the Beautification Saturday, scrubbing soffits, cleaning in the minister's garden, painting lines in the parking lot. So if you were here yesterday, I invite you to stand up so we can recognize you and we could say thank you. It really does take a village to have a center, and for me, it's such a gift when we get together like that, because I get more time to get to know one another, and also, the people get to know each other, and that's truly how community evolves and deepens. All right, so a lot of people know that we're doing all of this beautification leading up to painting the building. We're approaching our 50th anniversary, and we want the outside of the building and the grounds to reflect the magic that happens inside. And so all the voting members had an opportunity to help choose the color. It's kind of hard to see on there. The light kind of bleeds it out, but there's 3 colors on there. So all the voting members voted in person 2 weeks ago. Yeah, there's the yellow and the peach are blended together a little bit. You can kind of see an angle right that way. Peach is down by the gray on the bottom. I hope it came out better than that online when you did the voting, because some of the people had to vote from a distance. But after tallying all the votes, we have a winner, and the color is mellow yellow. I know that's exciting for some, and I know some other people are like, no, not that one, because there was a few votes for none of the above, and the other colors got a few votes as well. I think it's going to work out good. We're also going to use that purple as kind of a trim and accent, so it's going to be beautiful. So that's coming up in January. It's going to be a big painting party. It's going to be fun. We'll have some food, and we're going to make a wonderful day out of that. All right. And then November is Native American Heritage Month. Yeah. So in celebration and in honor of that, we have a short video that Jeremy and Mark are going to play for us, two more volunteers.
National American Indian Heritage Month, also known in some circles as American Indian and Alaska Native Heritage Month, is celebrated in November. The observance recognizes and honors the diverse traditions and contributions of Native American Indians and Alaska Natives in the United States. Today, there are over 9 million American Indians and Alaska Natives living in the nation. With over 574 federally recognized tribes, there are hundreds of different cultures that are as unique as the people they represent. This year's theme, Tribal Nations Soaring to New Heights, showcases the rich heritage and history of indigenous communities through events, exhibits, and cultural performances. This month, celebrate their enduring legacy and raise awareness by emphasizing the importance of preserving their traditions and supporting their initiatives for equality and cultural preservation. As the first people to live on the land, American Indians and Alaska Natives have profoundly shaped our country's character and cultural heritage. American Indians and Alaska Natives have built a legacy of professionalism and selfless service that inspires future generations.
Thank you, Jeremy and Mark. And so what Cape Coral used to be called was Redfish Point. And this was the home of the Calusa and the Seminole people hundreds of years ago. So we were already standing on hallowed ground. Now, a friend of mine sent me this Lakota prayer to honor the month, and so I'm going to go ahead and read it out loud. It says, "Teach me how to trust my heart, trust my mind, my intuition, my inner knowing, the senses of my body, the blessings of my spirit. Teach me to trust these things so that I may enter my sacred space and love beyond my fear, and thus walk in balance with the passing of each glorious sun." We could take that prayer and I could drop it into any faith, religion, tradition, and it would fit right in. And that's one of the reasons why I really love Science of Mind and admire the man that was Ernest Holmes, because he took teachings from all the early New Thought teachers, and then he compared it to hundreds of religions and other philosophies and said, looked where things were congruent, and he called that the golden thread of truth that runs through everything. And I think it really touches to what is in the heart of the human being, that we are all connected to something bigger, and that thing speaks to us when we're able to listen. So, let's start in. This month, we're going to look at the mundane. Next week, Malika is going to take us on a journey of the sacred. And then we're going to do the profane, and then the last month, we're going to bring it all together. But the mundane. So I'm wondering, who has had this experience where you are completely enthralled in what you're doing? You're enjoying maybe your work. Maybe you're making a painting. Maybe you are watching Sunday football, playing music, listening to music, but you're so enthralled that time just seemed to poof, it disappeared. And then you wake yourself out of it and you realize you got things to do, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I didn't do the dishes. I didn't take out the garbage. I didn't get the groceries. And all of a sudden, it's like this, feels like this burden. Like, I was so enjoying everything. Everything was wonderful. And now, time to make the donuts. You got to keep on going. And we call that the mundane, the drudgery. But why? There's a line in Hamlet that says, nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So how did we get to this place where doing the dishes is a chore? It's something to abhor, and I don't want to do it. So as John pointed out, the chopping wood and carrying water. These are the things that we have to do, but the stories that we tell ourselves has so much to do with it. And so it's really in our conditioning. I'm going to tell kind of an embarrassing story of myself that many of you know that I've waited tables for a lot of my adult life. And it was back when my daughter was less than a year old, and my wife decided she was going to go into grad school. And so at that time, I was waiting tables. I had a day job, and it fit the bill pretty nicely. But then we figured out, like, oh no, now Lee is going to be home. Is going to be at school all day. Who's going to be with the baby? So we decided, I need to work nights. I'm like, well, I'm in the perfect profession. So we made that switch. So I decided at that time that I wanted to expand and grow. So I had never worked fine dining. So that was my target. So I got into my first opportunity to be in a fine dining restaurant. At the end of the week-long training, your final test was you had to wait on the general manager and the head chef. The general manager, he was a pretty cool guy. The head chef was cool, but he was an intense person, very intense. And over half the people didn't make it through that first one. So I'm stepping in already kind of stressed. Now, I walk up, you have to pretend like you don't know them, like they're just there, regular people. And so you have to make small talk. And part of that small talk was also what we called the gift of time. Because it was fine dining, and this restaurant, dinner could take an hour and a half, 2 hours. And a lot of people, that's what they expected. But a lot of people didn't. And they may not let you know that they have theater tickets. And if you don't ask at the beginning, do you have any time constraints tonight that you want to get through? Or do you like a nice casual dining experience? Quite often, you've got a souffle that's in the oven that's got to come out. And the entrees aren't quite out yet. And they're like, we got to go. We got tickets. And so I asked. I'm like, that's part of our shtick there. It was to ask, do you have any time constraints? And the general manager says, yeah, actually I do. We'll need to move it along because I have to go to work later. I was like, oh, that's a bummer. And this is my boss. And he's like, oh, no, I like work. I love what I do. And it's not that I have to work, I get to work. And I thought that I blew it. I'm like, well, if I either failed this test or I might have failed the job because here I am telling my boss that I think work's a bummer. But it was all just part of my conditioning because I was actually excited to be in that restaurant. The chef was semi-famous. He was an awesome chef. It was a great opportunity to be working under him. So I didn't really think it was a bummer, but it's just habitually ingrained. And so it's kind of funny, that we're talking about the mundane right after coming off the month of Paradox, where we explored, we as humans, we compartmentalize things. We have to label things. And so that's part of our conditioning, is to label some things the mundane and that we just don't want to do it. So, looking into the mundane, there was a monk in the 1600s, and his name was Brother Lawrence. And there's a book attributed to him that's called To Practice the Presence of God. Now, this monk, I won't go into his whole backstory, but he did not come from money. He did not have an education. This is the 1600s. He fought in the 30-Year War. He saw some awful things. And when he had transitioned to where he could no longer serve, he wanted to go join the monastery. And so he did. He joined a Trappist monastery. And his job at first was working in the kitchen. And so he washed dishes and he cooked. And then after he could no longer use his legs, then they transitioned him into the sandal department. So he was making and repairing sandals. But he attributes those tasks as being the source of his deep inspiration. So he had all these insights that would come to him when he was doing these activities. And what he did was before he would start every time, he would pray. So now he was, Catholic tradition, and so he would pray, to Holy Spirit to bring me guidance. Nothing elaborate, just simple. And then he'd begin. And then those tasks brought him insights. Again, remember, he was not educated. He did not come from money. But people started noticing, who is this man? He didn't write that book. Others listened to what he said and wrote down his thoughts because they were so profound. Some of it was letters that he had written to other people. But he touched so many people with this deep wisdom that he said just came to him while he was doing his tasks. So that is where we're heading this week. There's opportunity and there is gifts that are just hidden from us. So one thing I want us to think about is the miracle that it is that we are here. That you are in your individual body as the essence that you know as yourself. But, one of the things that we hammer into us is we know that we are this and we are that. We are that infinite that we seek. We are the Spirit here manifest. We are the avatars for whatever you want to call that thing, whether you feel good calling it God or whether it's Mother Nature or your higher self, but we are that. We are the opportunity for that thing to experience life. Now, the miracle that we are here, when you compare the planets, trillions of planets, and yet we are here in this one that supports life. And we are here out of 8 billion people. And you are the unique individual expression of that God. It's a miraculous thing. Now, top that off with our essence. So if you live a long life here, 100 years, by most people's standards, is a long life. But when you step back, and just look at the 8 billion people that are alive now, but how about for the last, 6 to 10,000 years, going back to like the time of the pyramids, that 100 years, it's very small. Step back to 100,000 years, when we started evolving into what we are now. The 100 years is nothing. Now step out and realize that we are eternal and infinite beings. That 100 years, if we could make that our eternity and actually try to contain it within like 24 hours, it'd be like a billionth of a second, if even that little 100-year thing. It's gone so fast. And yet we curse and moan about so much of our lives. Those mundane things that we just like, why do I have to do it? But no, you don't have to do it. You get to do it. You get to do it as you. You are spirit getting to move through you. So I liked in the song that the Big Love Band shared when they were talking about the illumination. That's what I'm seeking, is continual more and more illumination to remind me, to have that experience of being one with it all. But we have some control in that, because when we are doing those mundane things, we can illuminate them with our actions, with our thoughts. Like Brother Lawrence, before he would step in, he would have that prayer, bring me guidance. And so that's our opportunity for this month. Let's remake the mundane into the sacred. And it's all, begins in mind and what we set. So our call, first I'll do our spiritual principle for this week is to remind us that we are spiritual beings. The one infinite reality is both transcendent and immanent. So we are spiritual and human at the same time. And sometimes I think we forget that when we are doing those tasks. But it all begins with just knowing, like, everything is a gift, every single second. And it'll be gone before we know it. And, as we age, we start to really see that, like what's behind us. Like, it really does seem to just blow by. So let's stop cursing the mundane and instead start making it the sacred where we are. So our practice this week, if you should choose to accept it, is practicing the presence and prayer and intentional guidance. So when we are starting a new task, we teach here spiritual mind treatment. It doesn't have to be that kind of a prayer. There's infinite types of prayer. It can be short, it can be simple, whatever it is, but it's just drawing in your mind your awareness and your intention, and you are now a different person. You are a different way of stepping into what it is that we are doing. And then the call for this week is to set a timer in your phone. So when you leave here today, or when you wake up in the morning, set a timer for 1 hour, however often you want to do it. And then when that timer goes off, hit repeat And then right after you hit repeat, analyze or just look at what is it that I'm doing right now. Am I mindful? And that's it. Just recognizing, okay, what I am doing right now, this very moment, is all that matters. So I'm bringing my heart to it. Spirit, nature, my higher self, guide me in what I am doing. And that's it, and letting it go. And it causes these little shifts. Now, the beauty of it is that this is an accumulative effect. You know, if we go to the gym and we get in, good shape, if we stop going for a month, you might slip back a little. Stop going for 6 months, a little more, a year. We might revert all the way back to where we were when we first started. And then if we want to pick up again, we have to start back in kind of at square one. But consciousness and our intentions and our state of being, every second that you remember that you are part of something bigger, every second that we just tap in to what it is and bring it our awareness, mindfulness to what we're doing, you are creating these pathways that generate the memory. It's the map of how to get there in the future. So we can do these practices. So maybe you'll do the timer thing, and you'll get through a day, and you'll have some more awareness around what you're doing. And then, the next day, maybe you'll do it again. And then maybe the next day, like the second time the timer goes off, you're like, I got too much today, I'm hitting stop instead of repeat. And then maybe the next day, you just completely forget to set it. And then, maybe 3 weeks down the road, or maybe 3 months down the road, you're gonna be like, oh, I forgot. I used to have that timer that was reminding me to be present in all my tasks, in my mundane things that I'm now making sacred. But you don't lose any of those pathways that you built. It is right there. So when you step back into it, that's the power of spirit. It steps right back in, right where you left off. You've already generated the ways to get into that space. And so there's never a wasted second. There's never a regret. Everything that we do, we can infuse it and illuminate it with that infinite, and then that becomes our experience moving forward. And that's how, one by one, we turn on more lights, more light bulbs over people's heads, and we just begin to recognize the sacred in everything we do. That then reminds us of the sacred in everybody that we see, everybody that we talk to and we encounter. It's cultivating this field that we talked about last week, that there's a field that when we come together, it vibrates, and we feel it, and we take it with us. And so that's our call this week. I encourage you to use timers or whatever other method. It doesn't have to be that. But make a plan of what it is that you're going to do to bring more presence and awareness to the mundane, recognizing that there is no mundane, it's all sacred. So let's take that within for prayer. So I recognize that there is only one infinite mind, one source of all that is, and everybody, every single individual on this planet is a unique and individualized expression of that. And that everything that we do, Spirit is doing through us, that it is its pleasure to experience it when we say yes. So I know that when we open up to greater expression and experience and greater intention and mindfulness, that Spirit revels. So I just affirm and avow that each and every person that hears these words has access to that still small voice inside that reminds us to take pleasure in the things that maybe before weren't a source of pleasure, to recognize the miracle that each individual is, and to be inspired by the presence, by the power, and the possibility of bringing more love and attention and compassion into this world by simply being present in all that we do. So there is truly only the sacred. There is no mundane. The sacred is what lies at the core of each and every one. And so I just offer thanks for it all, knowing that this love and light that illuminates everyone on this planet, that illuminates all life, that rotates the galaxies, all of it is flowing through each and every one of us, and that is an infinite power of expression and experience. And when we tap into it, that thing responds to us, and truly we become expression of heaven on earth. So in gratitude for it all, in gratitude for each and every seeker, wherever they are in their path, whatever journey they choose, knowing that we all return to the same thing because there is no other thing to return to. It is all one. So in gratitude for that, and in gratitude for the creative mechanism of the universe that takes these words and makes them real, I say thank you. And I simply release these words into the infinite, knowing that they are not returned void, that they are lifted up, that it's already so in the mind of one consciousness, and now we get to experience it together. And we can each affirm this by saying with one another, and so it is. So it is. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So now it's my good pleasure to bring in a special guest. Many of you will remember him. And others won't. But he was a senior minister here for several years, and he's got a very special announcement he's going to make for us. I'll let him do the talking. So Reverend Emil Govro. And I also want to invite up Pam and Malika, if you would like to come to the stage as well. Hi. Yeah. Great to meet you. Sorry, I'll give you this.
Right. Wow. Love what you've done with the place. Well, this stage was a brainstorm of a couple people, and including Shel Redfern's dad, and great work in terms of playing around with it. We're going to take a few minutes and then lead into our offertory. This is a little story of giving, receiving, circulation. In 2016, I was invited onto the board of something called the Mother of God House of Prayer Retreat Center out in Alva. It was a group, an organization that was started about 40 years ago by a group of Catholic nuns out of Cincinnati. After 3 months, the then president quit, a couple board members quit, and they made me the president. I was still wondering how that I got maneuvered into that. But over time, other members left. I invited Pam and Malika to join me on that board, and we've been the stewards of, just as I came on the board, they sold their property out in Alva for about $750,000, and with the idea of buying something in town, close for people to use as a retreat center and so on and so forth. We bought the building next door, the doctor's office. And we turned it into what we thought was going to be a fun retreat center. We worked on that. We had spent a lot of time, money, and effort, and it just didn't work. And so we rented that out to the doctor that's now there, Dr. Carmona, and his lovely wife, who I've got to know well. And they just recently bought the building. So we moved through a giving of our time and talent to serve on the board, being stewards, figuring out what to do, and it's turned into this flow of activity. At the same time, I had a conversation with Reverend Chris the other day, my first encounter. We'd never seen each other live before this moment, and found out that there's a building campaign going on for sign and lighting and a few other things that are happening. And if any of you have been involved in a development activity, they don't call it fundraising anymore, they call it development. I've been scolded a number of times. I'm trying to learn. They'll do this giving pyramid thing, and they'll say, well, we need $50,000, we can have one gift, $50,000. Mary Morrissey said, what if it only took one and it was easy? If, for any of you Prosperity Plus graduates or teachers. And then it breaks down, 225 is, 10, 550, 10s, down the line. And this morning, we're delighted that we can make it one. As a result of selling the building, we have some cash. And so inside here, Reverend Chris, is a check for $50,000. That's sort of what happens when things flow and you keep in the flow and figure out what to do with the flow. And it is a gift for these activities. It's called a restricted gift so that it's done for that activity. Pam and Malika, did you want to say anything else? I know that part of this was part of your dreams.
So this is a plug for Prosperity Plus because Reverend Emil brought that to us in 2011, and my very first vision statement that we made is starting to demonstrate. And one of the things is I wanted that doctor's office for the center, and we did get it. And Mary Morrissey always says this or something better. And so we're getting the and something better, and it's just starting to show up for us. So Prosperity Plus, vision statement, thank you.
Well, I just want to say I'm in such a gratitude. I'm just getting chills, even though I've been part of this committee for a while, and where we've been talking about it. We planted the seed many, many years ago. How can Open Path and Center for Spiritual Living can come together and be a beneficial factor? And I am so grateful today just to be in gratitude for this gift. Thank you. Thank you for running me.
I was just going to say thank you to Reverend Emil, to Open Path Board, and also I want to acknowledge too that Sarasota Center is also a recipient of this because of the foresight and the generosity and the visioning that these wonderful people had. And so what are we creating today for 10, 20 years from now? So thank you, Reverend Emil. I think Reverend Emil kind of did, but this, we've been talking about the sign, and this is how the universe works. We knew a sign was coming, and we had a lot of debate and talking about it, and we started pulling some resources like, well, we can use the Mary Chase Fund, perhaps. We can use some of this, and we had a really great start on it, and we wanted buy-in from the community, and then out of the blue, all of a sudden, no, we've got the sign, and we've got the parking lot lighting that is in the works that should be coming very soon. When you commit to something, the universe truly does step up and says yes. So it's amazing. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't have to drive as far as I did this morning to get to our center in Sarasota. I actually live directly across the street from where we meet. It takes me about 3.5 minutes. But I also asked Reverend Chris if I could do the offertory. For me, it's one of the best parts of Sunday morning. And you'll say, why? And it's because it's all about prosperity, because everything we do is related to prosperity, whether it's money, time, relationship, it's all in that flow. So when we flow, we move things. When we flow, we can do things like write checks. When we flow, we grow. And we're in that presence, and we move mundane moments into special moments all the time. So this is why it excites me to talk about it, because there's just so many dimensions to the universe wanting to give to each and every one of us. And our job is not to hold on to it, it's to be stewards. Pam, Malika, and I have been stewards for the last, 6 years? I don't know, it's been a while. We've been stewards. It's not our money, it's not our property, It's not our energy. We're moving the energy of the universe, and so are all of you. So whatever you have in your wallet, your checking account, your savings accounts, whatever you got, you're just a steward. Not just a, but you're the steward. We don't really own, and you know, it's like, this isn't mine. So as you think about supporting this center and moving it forward into the dreams that Pam has been expressing to me since 2007, and I know she had before that, we want to grow with that. And I want to see each one of you grow. So as you grow, you flow. As you flow, you grow. My teacher, Michael Beckwith, used to say, if there ain't no flow, there ain't no grow. It's one of the more eloquent things he ever said. So as you prepare your gift, your tithe, your offering, you know that you're coming together with all of your fellow members and helping Reverend Chris and the board build this powerful spiritual community, a community where you can come together and be loved and accepted and held in those infinite arms of spirit. So I just take a moment to know that this is a perfect moment, a moment of perfect flow in, through, and as each one here, that you are lifted on high in that activity of movement of energy through you, expressed as your gift, your tithe, your offering, that you're holding so dearly, and that giving forth with the freedom of knowing that as you give it forth, you will grow even more. So I bless each giver and each gift, knowing that they are a perfect expression of the one. And so it is. Thank you so much.
So we make it easy. There's lots of ways to give. We have our wonderful greeters right now sending around baskets. You can place your prayer requests in there as well. And then, of course, the usual ways. My favorite is the text to support. And you can always use PayPal, the website, send us a check in the mail, and all of that. So we'll go ahead and allow the Big Love Band. Well,
Standing as one in the presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the gifts of our abundance, knowing the source of our good. Standing as one in the presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the gifts of our abundance, knowing the source of our good.
let's offer thanks for all that is shared in all the different ways that it shows up, knowing that it is pressed down, multiplied, and truly a blessing for the world, that what is given is returned, and that it just is the perfect circulation of love and light. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, here.
Ah, what an amazing day, huh? Today's talk reminded me about the mundane. It took me back to the beginning of my spiritual path was finding a reading by Thich Nhat Hanh, who talks about doing the dishes, and to somebody who was visiting him, and he wanted to help do the dishes, and he said, you can only help do the dishes if you do and are with the dishes. And I was married at the time with 2 little toddlers, and I hated doing, there were dishes all the time. And I don't want to say I hated it, but it was like, oh, the dishes, they just never go away. And after doing that reading, I started experimenting with watching the bubbles and hearing the water. And then it moved into looking at all the beautiful plates and silverware I have have. And then I really got on my jam with, I didn't have a dishwasher, so I made these beautiful sculptures and how I stack the dishes that just amazed my family when they tried to put them away. And it transformed my life because here I am, a practitioner today, because I got my jam on doing the dishes. So I'm saying that so you all have a different experience, because I'm going to ask you if you have a different experience with doing your dishes in the next week. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to let Kat close this out.
Thanks. Thank you. We have our practitioners, and we want you to make our day and let us pray. Don't leave without your 1-minute miracle. Practitioners will be available for prayer in breakout rooms immediately following the services. Thank you for coming, and have a great week.